Welcome to the Disciples Journey. My name is John Mosman. This is my, if you will, audio journal. This is my blog. Please visit the website www.eastboundjourney.blogspot.com. I promise I will get more material up on the site. It's been kind of a long time coming to get stuff together. Um, really, it just hit me that I have the equipment and I have the ability, I hope, to audio format kind of discuss things. Because I know some people like me like to both read and listen, and sometimes you might like to just listen like I do. I'm a big fan of talk radio, so I hope that something like this could be beneficial to someone. The reason why I call it Disciples Journey is because I am on a journey, and this is like my journey. This journey that I have starts with one person, and that person is Christ. And that journey that I took started with Christ in my baptism. The baptism that I undergoed and when that happened, I was of course an infant being raised LCMS Lutheran. I truly do believe, looking at the historical data and looking at the scriptures and the church fathers, that was an event in which Christ came into my life. Now, some people say, well, you have to be born again, and they talk about, a lot of Protestants talk about being born again, and they look at it as saying, I don't know, maybe they look at it as uh, an emotional thing, and so they say, well, I know it because of an emotional connection that I have, and sometimes we have to be careful because an emotional connection that we may strive um, could lead us astray, and so can a logical. So, you know, I'm of the fond belief that Christ, when He interacts with us, gives us something greater than what we really are, because it's the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit allows us to connect with Christ, be one with Christ, and then when we go to the altar and we take communion, when we are partaking His body and blood, we become one with Him. I think that the problem can occur when someone like myself, an individual who raised LCMS Lutheran, was baptized, I had a false premonition about a lot of things. And even though I believe God calls us and God chooses us and God asks us to be a participant in this experience that He has for us, it's more than just an experience of the mind, or experience of the body, or experience of the emotions of the soul. It's all of these things transcended. It's through His sacraments, it's through His Word that we connect to Him, and through this connection we can know. We can know things that we never could know, and we have ultimately, I think, faith to know. So while I would say that it is in faith that we accept things, and not accept things that alter or decide whether or not we are, if you want to use the word saved, which is a word that I just despise. And the reason why I despise being saved is, first of all, it puts on the premonition that I was saved. You hear a lot of Christians saying, I was saved when I was 12, when I chose God. These are both false premonitions, and something that is legalism really at its best. Now, some people have accused the Orthodox and the Catholics basically of being it, but Protestant world is filled with self-grandizing legalism. Everything now in the Protestant world has become about the one's self and that experience, and it has been less about the doctrines and liturgies and the history that has been before them. I think a lot of Christians today have been absent-minded of what has transpired in the past. I think they're absent-minded to a history that's developed. And so when I say a historical knowledge of these things, there's a real historical, empiriological way of looking at how things happen. And people have looked at Luther, and I think it stems before Luther. I think it goes all the way to the first church. And who was the first church?